And a Blondie request here that comes from Claire Donahue. Could you play a song for my wonderful, gorgeous big sister, Anne Malcolm? It's for her birthday on the 30th of August. She loves sounds of the 70s. Although there's 10 years between us, we both just love the fantastic variety of music in that decade. As a family of 9 siblings, Blondie was a band that we all loved. Their energy and spirit reached each one of us in different ways. Annie is number 4, I'm number 9, but all the siblings want to say we're all touched by your presence, dear. Lots of love from Sister Claire and Clan Donahue and Malcolm. That's brilliant. Happy birthday for today, Anne. And there'll be some Blondie songs coming up in our interview this afternoon with Clem Burke. And there are some bands who, even at the very mention of their name, just evoke the essence of the 70s. Blondie are one such band, and the lasting legacy of their music is testament to the amazing talent within that band. Now they've released a brand new box set for die-hard fans. Blondie Against the Odds, 1974 to 1982, contains 124 tracks, made up of their 6 studio albums, plus rarities, outtakes and demos. I spoke a little while ago to Clem Burke from his home in New York to chat about the project of the box set and Blondie's enduring appeal. And I started by asking Clem, hi, how you doing?
Hi, Johnny. I'm doing very well today. It's a beautiful day here in New York City, and just getting ready to go out on tour again in the States with Blondie. So things are moving along very well at the moment.
Good to be playing live again after all that COVID business.
Yeah, gee, I mean, that's the reason for the title of the box, Against the Odds. It kind of happened because of the pandemic, finding that title because it was against the odds if it would ever come out, basically. And also, having any kind of real success in the music business, it's really against the odds, and especially the success that we've had through the years, especially in Britain and in the UK. It's just it's just amazing. So we called the tour Against the Odds as well, because we didn't know if it was against the odds or not for us to get out on tour. So now everything is happening as planned, so it's great.
All very exciting. The early years of Blondie playing in New York places as a punk band, really. And I guess you and other people who knew of the band and their music never anticipated what was going to happen in the future.
Well, at the time, the goalpost keeps changing as far as what your definition of success is. I mean, for instance, once we made it onto Top of the Pops, I was like, I couldn't have been happier. That was really my idea of success, for instance. But I did see maybe the comparison between the clubs, particularly CBGB, and what was going on in Liverpool in the 60s with the Cavern, because you could feel the explosiveness of the whole scene as time went on, and bands began to get signed and started to be a kind of worldwide recognition of what was going on. But initially, it was just really all these bands kind of in a more or less workshop setting with a very limited audience. And, the people in the audience would be the other musicians for the most part, and few fans. And then as time went on, more and more people started showing up. And I think then the British press got a hold of the whole New York scene and kind of helped us, along with a handful of other bands, whether it be Talking Heads or Patti Smith, Ramones, obviously, to have kind of worldwide recognition. And so it was really a launching pad for us. But, who could have known that we would have stood the test of time?
Yeah.
Which apparently we have. Yeah. We just had an amazing, a tour in the UK in April and May. The audiences couldn't have been better, and sold out arenas across the UK. And it was just so amazing for us to do that, because it was a long time coming.
Now, an interesting track that is on the box set is Blondie's version of a Doors song. Now, who would have thought 1976 you'd record a song called Moonlight Drive?
Right. Well, we were fans of the Doors, and I've said it many times in my quest for pop stardom, let's say, as a drummer, I knew I had to surround myself with people that perhaps had the sort of creativity and the just the image and the presence of a Jim Morrison or a David Bowie or a Mick Jagger, let's say. And when I met Debbie, I said to myself, there's your Jim Morrison,
She has got the most amazing stage presence.
Right, charisma, right.
She's just very cool.
Yes, and as I said, I wanted to be in a band with someone like that. And of course, the creativity that existed within the various members of the band. And it was kind of like all encapsulating, but, it took some time to really refine it. And there you have it. I mean, I was really, we were all kind of informed by Bowie and people like that, and David was a big help to us in the early days. Our first national tour in the UK, in the States, I should say, was in support of Iggy Pop with David on keyboards. And, through the years, we would kind of see him once in a while. And, so when I met Debbie and Chris, I knew there was something special there.
Let's play that Doors track, which you start off the track on drums. And for a while, it sounds like a Blondie song. And then sort of halfway, 3/4 of the way through, it definitely starts to sound like a Doors song. It's really good.
Right. We enjoy doing these covers, that's fun.
That's Blondie and Moonlight Drive that comes from a new box set called Against the Odds. On the line, Blondie drummer Clem Burke. Now, producer Ken Shipley is quoted as saying, "From the moment I walked into Chris Stein's barn and saw a wall of tapes, I knew we were on the precipice of something extraordinary." So there's, about 100 reel-to-reel tapes there, cassettes, records. Chris had just, I suppose, chucked it all in the barn and forgot about it.
Yeah, Con, he's a bit of a hoarder, as it were, but yeah, I mean, the stuff is invaluable, and I think we had to rebake a lot of the tapes, to get them playable once again, and then digitize them, and there was a lot there, and it's great that Chris had all that stuff. I mean, we all had bits and pieces of various outtakes and things like that, but I think that primarily there's one disc in the box that exists because of Chris's inventory of past Blondie recordings. So it's great that we had that and we were able to put that out and give it to the box. A lot of that stuff is for the super Blondie fan, and also the remastered first 6 albums that we remastered at Abbey Road, we did a very good job on, and we weren't really too happy with how they had been remastered in the past. So we were really glad to be able to get all that stuff sounding as amazing as it could, and we're real happy about all that as well. Yeah.
Well, here's another one from the outtakes and rarities section of the box set, and then we'll go into the studio version. But we'll start with this, the Mike Chapman demo of Hanging on the Telephone.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
That's Blondie, Hanging on the Telephone, the demo to begin with, and then the finished version. On the line is Blondie drummer Clem Burke. Mike Chapman, he really is an amazing producer. What was he like to work with?
Well, it's been said that Mike was such a taskmaster, but I was very happy to have him on board because we all kind of liked bubblegum rock and, bubblegum glam. And Mike was also a songwriter, having written Ballroom Blitz or Can the Can, 48 Crash, things like that. So I was very much looking forward to working with Mike. And just going back a minute, also our previous producer, Richard Goddard, had a lot in common with Mike as well, because both of those people were songwriters as well as producers. Richard Goddard having written I Want Candy, My Boyfriend's Back, Nighttime. He was in a band, The Strangeloves. And so there was that kind of camaraderie where basically the producer kind of became the extra member of the band. Mike was really good with having a positive vibe in the studio. And the main difference was he really wanted to make a record full of hits, whereas with Richard, he was kind of more old school, like the Bro Building sort of thing. For instance, we're kind of focusing on 1 or 2 tracks, whether it be something like In the Flesh or Ex-Offender or Presence Dear. And then the rest of the tracks, we would play, and they're all brilliant songs, but some were more produced than others, whereas Mike was more on point with making something like Parallel Lines, where each track basically was a hit. So we were really happy to be able to work with Mike at that point in our career.
Well, you were happy with commercial success, but the kind of die-hard Blondie fans, some of them were accusing the band of selling out.
Yeah, right. Well, I always point this out. Back in the days of vinyl exclusively, where you would always put, obviously you know this, you would put your most so-called commercial tracks maybe first, second, or third on an album because, when the programmer puts the needle down, if doesn't like what he hears on the first track, he might not go to the second track and continuing on. So with Heart of Glass, which is probably what you're referring to, if you look on the album, it's on the B-side, track number 8. So we thought we were basically experimenting, kind of trying to combine the influence of Kraftwerk electronic music with dance music, with Donna Summer, for instance. So we never thought that was going to be this big commercial breakthrough for us, especially in the States. And, in retrospect, it was a brilliant move for us. And Mike had a big part in the making of that, Heart of Glass, making it what it became. And, for a minute there, we were a little bit confused about our audience. But I think, as we said with the box, that things have stood the test of time now. So very happy about it.
Well, Debbie Harry has said of this box set, it really is a treat to see how far we've come when I listen to these early attempts to capture our ideas on relatively primitive equipment. And you're quite, it's amazing that after all this time and against the odds, our Blondie archival box set will finally be released. It's been a long time coming.
Right. We were in the process of putting this together back in 2017, I think, looking for it to come out somewhere around the following year. So it took a long time. And also, just things like, with the shortage of vinyl pressing plants and things like that also inhibited the collection coming out. And of course, with the pandemic, everything, all bets were off for quite some time. So once again, against the odds, we made it through and we're here now talking about it.
Well, it's a great release and brilliant for Blondie fans. You said you were looking for a sort of Jim Morrison to be in a band that you were in. Did you ever resent the fact that all the attention was on Deborah Harry and not the rest of the band?
I mean, at the time when we first met up, other than the music, there wasn't very much going on as far as following or as far as even the whole band becoming what it became. And at that time, it seemed like maybe we weren't in a place to continue. And I brought in my school friend, Gary Valentine, who co-wrote the single Ex Offender, which kind of got us our record deal. And for me, that's kind of the genesis of Blondie. But the main reason I was there, to answer your question, of course I knew that Debbie was a superstar. I mean, in my mind, that was the whole deal. As I said, I wanted my front person to be someone of the caliber of a Bowie or a Morrison. And there you have it with Debbie. Obviously, I was proven right. We were all out to make a name for ourselves, so... But you have to really realize, as I said, the front person, irregardless of a Debbie Harry or Jagger, whoever, is going to have the most attention. So that's kind of a given. So I think it worked out for everyone in the end.
It sure did.
Right.
Well, Clem, enjoy your tour and many thanks for your time.
All right, Johnny, I appreciate it. And everybody in the UK, coincidentally, we have just completed a new Blondie album, which is kind of interesting because the box set. So we're looking back and looking forward at the same time. So hopefully we'll be back in the UK. And thanks to everyone. And thank you, Johnny. And peace and love.
All right, Clem. Many thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers, mate. Bye.
And that ends our interview with drummer Clem Burke. And a reminder, the box set, Blondie Against the Odds, 1974 to 1982, is out now.